What if I told you that success doesn't begin with money, talent, or luck, but with a single thought? Some of the most successful people in the world changed their lives not by changing their circumstances, but by changing how they saw themselves. Today's story will challenge the way you think about success, value, and self-worth. And by the end, you might see yourself differently too. Greatness is shaped by thought. This idea has been echoed by philosophers, entrepreneurs, and leaders for generations. They all believed one simple truth: what you consistently think about, you slowly become. But if that's true, why do so many people struggle for years without progress? Do they lack ability, or do they fail to recognize their own value? Let's uncover the answer through a powerful story. In a crowded railway station, filled with noise, rushing footsteps, and chaos, there lived a poor man who survived by begging. Every day, he sat near the platform, holding out his hand to strangers, hoping for spare change. Some ignored him, some gave a coin, most walked past without noticing him at all. One afternoon, the beggar noticed a man stepping onto the platform. He was well dressed, confident, and calm, clearly someone successful. The beggar thought, "This man looks wealthy. If anyone can help me today, it's him." With hope in his eyes, he approached and stretched out his hand. But instead of giving money, the businessman asked a question the beggar had never heard before. "Do you only take from others? Or do you ever give something in return?" The beggar was shocked. He replied honestly, "Sir, I am a beggar. I survive by asking. I have nothing to give." The businessman smiled gently and said, "If you believe you have nothing to offer, then you will always depend on others. I believe in exchange. If you give something of value, you receive something in return." With that, the businessman boarded his train and disappeared. The beggar stood frozen. Those words stayed in his mind all day and all night. For the first time in his life, he questioned his identity. Do I really have nothing to give? For 2 days, he didn't beg. He just observed. He thought. On the third day, while sitting quietly at the station, his eyes fell on a patch of wildflowers growing beside the tracks. Bright, colorful, alive. And suddenly, an idea sparked. He picked a few flowers and returned to his usual spot. This time, when someone gave him a coin, he smiled and offered a flower in return. Something unexpected happened. People smiled back. Some thanked him, some even gave more than before. As days passed, he noticed something important. When he had flowers, people gave generously. When he didn't, they didn't. That's when he understood people weren't giving out of pity anymore. They were exchanging value. One day, he saw the same businessman again. Excited, he approached and said, "Sir, today I have something to give." The businessman smiled, accepted the flowers, and said, "You've learned the rule of life. You're no longer just asking, you are offering." That moment changed everything. The man stopped seeing himself as a beggar. He began to see himself as a trader, a businessman. Soon, he left the station. Months later, he returned not to beg, but to expand his flower business. When the two men met again, they shook hands as equals. Nothing about that man changed overnight except his mindset. He didn't suddenly gain money, education, or connections. He gained self-belief. The moment he realized he had value to offer, his life shifted. This is the secret many people miss. You don't receive first, you give first. Value creates opportunity. Thought creates identity. Identity creates destiny. Life moves in the direction of how you see yourself. If you see yourself as small, you will live small. But if you recognize your inner value, growth becomes inevitable. Change your thoughts. Change how you see yourself, and your future will follow. If this story inspired you, like this video, share it with someone who needs it, and remember, your potential is far greater than you think. See you in the next story.